Good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming to this press point. The Secretary General and the President of Albania will start with the opening remarks, and then they'll be happy to take a few questions. Secretary General.
Good afternoon. President Nishani, I'm very pleased to welcome you at NATO headquarters. Albania is a valued ally. You are committed to our collective defense and to our operations, and you are making important contributions to our missions in Afghanistan and in Kosovo. We thank you for your steadfast support, and we thank your troops for their courage and professionalism. Our mission in Afghanistan is challenging, but our strategy is set, and we are making steady progress. With our support, Afghan forces are on track to take full responsibility for their own security by the end of 2014. And we appreciate Albania's efforts to pool training resources together with Croatia and partner countries from the region within the Adriatic Charter. In Kosovo, NATO has been a guarantor of security and stability for over a decade. We have enforced our United Nations mandate for the benefit of all people in Kosovo. We will not let those gains be undermined. Our Chicago summit made clear the importance that NATO continues to attach to the Western Balkans. Euro-Atlantic integration remains the most effective way to bring lasting stability to the region. And as a young member of our alliance, Albania can be an example for the whole region. NATO's door remains open. We urge all countries aspiring to membership to demonstrate political commitment. A track record of reform and responsibility, and a new resolve to settle old disputes. There's still work to be done, but the future of the entire region is in the Euro-Atlantic family. We have also discussed how we can ensure our security in a time of economic austerity, and I congratulate you for your efforts to turn several of the smart defense projects we endorsed in Chicago into reality. You're also pursuing regional approaches to cooperation. So, Mr. President, I appreciate Albania's continued regional leadership, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Secretary. I had this afternoon a good first meeting with the Secretary General of NATO, Rasmussen. Albania is a member of the Alliance since 3 years already. One of the greatest achievements of my nation. Our discussions focused on the situation in the region of the Western Balkans and its perspective for Euro-Atlantic integration. Needless to say, as a NATO member, Albania has a particular interest in Kosovo, where the Alliance is running one of its success story operations, KFOR. I assured the Secretary General for our unwavering support in seeing the KFOR job through. At the same time, we agreed that NATO will continue to fulfill its mandate to securing a safe and secure environment in Kosovo. We share the same opinion that the partition of Kosovo is not an option and will not be allowed to happen. We took note of the excellent progress achieved by the Kosovo security forces in close cooperation with NATO, and agreed that it will soon achieve its final operation capabilities while stressing that NATO should remain seized with the Kosovo Security Forces development in the future. I am a firm believer that one day Kosovo will become a member of the alliance, and Kosovo Security Forces troops will be able to serve shoulder and shoulder with the allied troops in service of peace and security. We also discussed the enlargement policy of the alliance, and I made clear that Albania has a particular interest to see the nations of the Western Balkans that so wish become members of the alliance as soon as they have met the necessary criteria. We will continue to be a strong supporter of the open door policy, convinced that it contributes to a better, more secure and prosperous Europe. We discussed ISAF, Afghanistan, and the process of transition there, where the Albanian troops have been engaged for a long time already. Albania will continue to stay the course of the alliance for as long as it takes, even after 2014. We will abide by the principle, in together, out together, and are prepared to share the burden with the other allies. Finally, we also discussed the implementation of Chicago decisions, in particular the Connected Force Initiative and the Smart Defense, and agreed that economic developments in the world should not make us forget about security obligations. Closer cooperation and swift implementation of Chicago decisions are to the benefit of the alliance and in particular the smaller nations. With that, I would like again to thank the Secretary General for this first meeting. Thank you.
Please introduce yourselves for the questions. BBC.
Mr. Secretary General, Matthew Price from the BBC. You just said that the Afghan forces are on track to take full responsibility by 2014, but if your top commanders on the ground don't trust those Afghan forces enough in order to continue automatically sending out joint patrols, how can that be the case? Isn't your policy in tatters?
Let me stress that our partnership with the Afghan forces continues, and we will continue to operate together. So our strategy remains the same. I've spoken to General Allen about the measures that he has put in place to protect our troops. These measures are prudent and temporary in response to the current situation. We have said all along that we will take every step necessary to minimize the risks to our troops, and that's what we are doing. And let me be clear, we remain committed to our strategy, and we remain committed to our goal of seeing the Afghans fully in charge of their own security by the end of 2014. So that is the bottom line. The goal is unchanged, the strategy remains the same, and the timeline remains the same.
Associated Press.
Associated Press. Isn't this suspension of joint operations with the Afghan army a tacit admission that the insurgents are now dictating events and that they have actually regained the strategic initiative in Afghanistan?
No, not at all. Actually, the fact that it is possible as a temporary measure to suspend some partnered activities reflect that Afghan security forces are able to operate on their own. We will continue to partner, to assist, to give advice, to train Afghan security forces. In some cases, it may be that direct partnering will be suspended, which reflects that Afghan security forces are able to operate on their own. So again, I would like to stress that the measures taken aim at reducing the risks for our troops. That's a responsibility of our commanders. But these measures don't change the overall strategy. It remains the same, that we will continue to hand over in a gradual process lead responsibility for the security to the Afghan security forces, and that process will be completed by the end of 2014. And our ISAF combat mission will end by the end of 2014. Nothing has changed.
Thank you very much.